numbers such as our 56.82, we can add other decimals to this just as easily, right? It's simply essential that you line up your decimal places and add the appropriate place values. After all, this number here is telling me how many holes there are. This number here is telling me how many holes there are. We put those together, we get the number of holes in the final, in the sum, right? The result of addition is always called a sum. Now, of course, there's always the possibility that you'll end up with more than 9, right? 9 being the cap. You gotta add to the next place. But then that's what we call carrying, right? So you always start with the smallest denomination first. 2 plus 2 is 4. Here we go. There's our first one where we need to carry. That is to say, we've gotten enough tenths together to make up another whole. Our decimal place will continue down, add up what we had here plus the one we carried. And since there's nothing here in the tens place, we simply bring down our 5s. Subtraction, of course, is very similar, all by place value, and whereas we would carry extras to the higher places in addition, in subtraction you might end up borrowing or regrouping from those higher orders to the lower ones in order to make your subtraction work. In this case, we won't need to borrow. This does bring up an important point, however, that sometimes you don't have all of the decimal spots represented in all of the parts. And in this, and for this sort of arithmetic, you can simply fill them in with zeros. And again, we go by place value. So 2 minus 0 is 2. 8 minus 4 is 4. Decimal place is where it was. 6 minus 1 is 5. And 5 minus 0 again is 5. We won't bother putting an extra 0 there since those zeros are somewhat meaningless on the left side of the decimal place. Here's an example in which we do have to borrow. Since we can't take 5 100ths from 1 100th, we're going to have to borrow from the next place. To do so, we'll just cross it out, keep track of the number reduced by 1 up here, cross this out, and since these numbers here are 10 times bigger than these ones, taking 1 from here gives us as though we had 10 of these added to the 1 that we had already, so we'll keep track of that with an 11 there. Now we can do our subtraction. 11 minus 5 is 6, 1 minus 1 is 0, and we can continue as